How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. BlackRock and other spot ETFs just flipped Satoshi Nakamoto. This is really interesting. They have now officially gotten more Bitcoin on their balance sheets and their ETFs than Satoshi. Let's talk about this. We also have some other things that are really interesting happening in crypto today. I want to talk about a couple cryptos that I've bought recently, and there are a couple that I'm looking at buying now. Now, to be clear, I have allocated a lot during the bear market, so these are smaller positions for me. I'm still trading, and I'm allocating very small amounts to cryptos that are a little bit smaller that I think could do really well. But largely, I am sitting on my hands. I even took profits a few days ago. So stay through to the end of the video. We'll be talking about all this, all the Bitcoin news that you need to know now. Also, if you want to see when I'm going to buy those cryptos that I'm talking about today, before I talk about them in videos, there's a link underneath the video to the Patreon. To be clear, I don't post in there all that often. I talk about when I dollar cost average maybe into the stock market once a week, if that, and then also when I buy positions or trade, when I trim positions. I don't talk about trading, leverage trading, because it's too time sensitive in there. So if you want that, you can check it out underneath the video. There's also a link underneath the video to CoinW, where you can start trading cryptocurrency using leverage if you're comfortable with the risks of using an exchange and of using leverage. There is a link underneath the video. I have been trading and I found a lot of success in it. Of course, though, there are always setbacks, so be ready for anything. Let's start here. Vancouver could move to integrate Bitcoin into city finances, according to Bloomberg. Now, I'm not sure where this is coming exactly, like the context of this, but there are more countries, there are more cities, there are more states, there are more provinces, there are more people talking about adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet, to their finances, accepting it for taxes, all that kind of stuff. So this is bullish. We also have Florida that may introduce a Bitcoin reserve in 2025, leveraging its $185 billion pension fund and budget surplus to allocate billions into crypto-related assets. We already knew this was the case, but maybe there's a little bit more talk about it now. Florida, Texas, some of these states are very pro-Bitcoin, and it looks like in the coming weeks, we're going to have some more news on that as well. Obviously, there's been massive buying from the ETFs. We had about 782 million for the day, most of it coming from BlackRock. Actually, all of it and more coming from BlackRock. And by the way, sorry, there's a baby right here helping me film the video in case you hear some squeaking. IBIT, $785 million inflow day. Just insane. This is also an interesting fact. When BlackRock holds 1 million Bitcoin and they push the price to 1 million, which is coming, in my opinion, BlackRock will make $2.5 billion in fees every year forever. Keep in mind, they've been buying a significant amount. These are some of the inflow numbers for the last 5 days. 320, 353, 675, 556. BlackRock has added, I believe, about $2.5 billion in the last 5 days. $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. And let's see, where is that number? The US spot ETFs just passed 1.1 million in Bitcoin held. So in my opinion, we're going to see them continue to allocate. And eventually, BlackRock, which is at over 500,000 Bitcoin right now in under a year, I think they will eventually get 1 million Bitcoin. And when there's a supply shock, if the US and other countries start buying Bitcoin, the price will probably go to $1 million. Now, that would be huge for BlackRock. I've had videos before where I talk about why they want Bitcoin to go up. And it's more obvious, or there's more to it than just this 2.5 billion in fees. The fact is, it can grow their AUM within other portfolios. So they buy this Bitcoin ETF within like 4 or 5 other portfolios right now, and it can juice up the returns, which also gives them more fees in that ETF, in addition to the fees that they're getting in the BlackRock ETF or in the Bitcoin ETF. So they get like double fees because of this. $2.5 billion though is a lot for them. Their company. Let's look at last year's profit. BlackRock 2023 earnings. Earnings. Let's call it that. Revenue was 5.2 billion. Net income was 1.63 billion in September of 2024. So, I mean, we're talking about a company that's maybe profiting around 4 to 6 million a year. Yeah, that 2.5 billion is going to go a long way. Now, maybe there's some fees associated with it, right? Maybe there are. Maybe they have to pay out some of the fees to other companies or, advertising, that kind of thing. But this is going to hit their bottom line pretty significantly. And they stake their reputation on this and they can show, hey, we know assets. We are not legacy. We are trailblazers. We are going to be the next wave of capital. Come invest with us. So yeah, I think this is going to continue. We also got news last night. President Trump just appointed David Sachs as a crypto chair. I talked about that in last night's video, so I won't really talk about it too much. But yeah, this is, I think, probably pretty good for crypto because David is very big into free speech. He is someone that really has invested in crypto pretty significantly in the past. He was an early investor in Solana, and I think he still holds a bag of Solana. So yeah, the fact is this is probably going to be good for crypto. Now, there are a couple cryptos I'm buying today, and we'll get back to Bitcoin in a second. Charles Schwab actually just said, too, that you need 10% allocation towards Bitcoin, and Charles Schwab is massive. So we'll talk about that, but TARS AI. This is a crypto that I bought recently. It's done really well. It's around $250 million market cap. I wanted to bring it up here because I think it can still do well. You know, I'm looking at some AI cryptos, some gaming cryptos. These are the smaller cryptos I'm allocating a little bit to during the bull run. To be clear, though, I will take profits on this. It's gone up significantly since I even bought it. So I have taken a little bit of profit, but I talked about it a while ago too. But yeah, I still think now is a pretty decent time for this crypto and for other smaller AI cryptos in general and gaming cryptos. But like I said, I am going to take profit, so don't be mad when I do. Also, Altura. This is one that has just been on a monster run. 638% over the last month. 1 month, and it's 7x. This is what happens during the bull market. I still think we can see this happen again, too. We might see a bit of a pullback, but it's at $150 million market cap. It is higher than it was last bull run already, which I think is pretty bullish because it's in like price discovery from a market cap perspective, but not quite yet from a price perspective. By the way, in case you didn't know, you can always look underneath to see where you can buy these things. But yeah, Altura, I added to recently. I told the Patreon about it. I think we're up just a tiny amount since we bought it a few days ago. But you can see, yeah, a little bit of a pullback, 2.6%. And it was at like 16 cents. So it's down maybe 6% or so since the recent pump. But obviously, like, it has moved up a lot. But this is in gaming. You can see here, it's revolutionizing the gaming industry by making it easy to build, scale, and monetize Web3 and AI-powered games. TARS I didn't mention, but they're an AI infrastructure play as well. There are a couple AI cryptos I'm looking at right now, too, that are gaining some popularity. I'll be talking about that in the Patreon, then probably in an upcoming video if I do go through and buy some of the tokens. But just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Now, Charles Schwab says Bitcoin could hit 500,000 to 1 million when Trump establishes a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And let me play this for you. They ask specifically about what kind of allocation you should have towards Bitcoin.
Basically, it's property but improved.
And how much of a portfolio do you think should be allocated to cryptocurrency at this point? And has that changed now that we have a very pro-crypto president coming into office?
Absolutely. I think if you don't have at least 10% of your investment account in Bitcoin or Bitcoin-related assets, you're going to fall significantly behind.
Okay, 10% of your portfolio in crypto-related assets. Let's look. Size of U.S. stock market. Okay. It's around 50 trillion. I think that's actually a little bit low, but I've seen around 100 trillion, maybe even more, for the total world stock market. So let's say we do get to 10%. $10 trillion for Bitcoin. Okay, that's pretty good, right? That's a 2.5x from here. And honestly, when there's scarcity, who knows where that goes, right? Who knows what gets priced in? And keep in mind, they're talking about your portfolio. Maybe they're including real estate. When you look at the size of all assets on Earth, precious metals, the stock market, property, art, Bitcoin, and crypto is just a small bit of it. So the fact is, like, we could get up to a $13 million Bitcoin, like Michael Saylor says. Now, you have to remember, there are two sides to this. There are people that still think that Bitcoin's trash, that crypto's trash, and there are people that love it. So yeah, maybe the very pro-crypto people are saying 10%, 20%. I've seen from BlackRock, like, certain people at BlackRock have said mathematically it makes sense to be 100% into Bitcoin, even leverage into Bitcoin. That was from a scientific paper. And then there are people that say, like, sell everything right now. It's just trash and it's pumping, right? So I like that difference in opinion because that means that there's still an opportunity there, right? Some people don't believe in, I do. Eventually when they turn, which has happened a lot over the last year or two, there have been a lot of people that have turned and started buying Bitcoin. When they eventually turn, they're buying my bags. They're buying the scarce supply that's left. Keep in mind too, Charles Schwab is massive. They're one of the largest asset managers in the world, like right behind BlackRock. They're bigger than Fidelity, a little bit smaller than Vanguard as well. So just a massive company. It just came out that Mara bought another $140 million worth of Bitcoin. We knew this was going to happen because they continue to issue more debt and convertible notes and shares to buy more Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners. Like I said, too, US spot ETFs flipping Satoshi. Everyone talking about how much Bitcoin Satoshi has and how big a deal it would be if he started selling. It would be a big deal, but the fact is there are larger entities now than Satoshi. Now, not single entities, right? This is all the spot ETFs. But BlackRock is going to flip Binance probably in the next 3 to 6 months. They're going to have more than Binance. And then eventually, I think they're coming for Satoshi. There are countries that are going to come in, most likely, and start buying. There are states that are going to be buying. Who knows? Like, we could see Florida or Texas on this list one day here soon. Who knows what's going to happen? So let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Keep in mind, there will be volatility. What we saw recently with Bitcoin hitting 91K, was it yesterday? It's hard to even remember. The market's moving so fast. This was the largest 5-minute price move in Bitcoin's history. And actually, they say here, $6,200 drop in 5 minutes. The fact is, we went from 98 down to 92 in 3 minutes. So it was like a $6,200 drop in 3 minutes. We're going to see big moves like this in the future too. I mean, look at this too. 96.5 down to 92. 4,500 in 60 seconds. You know, you go to the bathroom, do all your business right away, not even on your phone, and you step out and Bitcoin's $5,000 lower. How crazy would that be if you're paying attention to it? Of course, like I said, like, do your research, but if you do want to leverage trade and you feel comfortable with all the risks, there are links underneath the video to CoinW. I also use multiple exchanges just in case something happens with an exchange or with, you know, a leverage position. If an exchange gets overloaded because of volatility, I use CoinW, Blofin, and BTCC. Again, you can check out all these links underneath the video. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Talk soon.